Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hello,
hi there.
Peg.
Ian McNulty, food writer for the Times Picayune, New Orleans Advocate. Hello there, Mr. Ian. How you doing? Hi. Alfred Richard, movie critic for WWL TV. It's great to see you again, Alfred.
Good to see you,
Hello.
Peggy.
And Alan Smason of theatercriticism.com and the Crescent City Jewish News. Hey, Alan, good to see you.
Hey.
And glad you were well. I know you had a busy week. So, Poppy, an elegant touch of the Caribe right in the CBD.
And so delicious. We're talking about a brand new restaurant called Nola Caye, and it's located on the corner of Barone and Joseph Street. It's a husband and wife team, Brian and Brooke Czar, who people may know already from their Restaurant de Famille down in Crown Point. Now, they were just named Best Restaurant by fans at Wyeth and Gambit. This cocktail, this sort of sums it up. This is their signature cocktail, the Climate Change, and that is a hibiscus margarita with a 3 chili pepper ice ball. So the more the ice melts, the spicier it gets. And there's mojitos, and it all goes with this sort of Caribbean, Louisiana fusion food, like oyster tacos and oyster ceviche. They've got fantastic crispy chicken wings with mango and pineapple hot sauce, and a jerk chicken just to die for that with black beans and grilled pineapple salsa. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m., and they serve brunch Saturdays and Sundays. Now, here is a big news flash I just got before we came on air. Tujague's, you know, is not open yet this Halloween. And so do you see this dish? That is their braised oxtail, and it's going to be one of the dishes that's going to be served at the first ever, since March 8th, Poppy's Pop-Up Halloween Drag Brunch. They're hosting it at Nola Caye, and they're serving look at that tres leches cake. So it's 3 courses and 3 drag queens in a tribute to Madame Begay, who started it all. We're serving her stuffed eggs. So call the restaurant quick, because it was just announced today, and the seats are going fast for Halloween.
And when
drag
is it?
brunch.
So it's Halloween, on Halloween?
On Halloween day.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I'm so excited. I'll see everybody
Absolutely.
there.
Thank you. And that's a beautiful place. We dined there just recently, and it's on Carondelet, but it's Carondelet or Barone? I'm sorry.
It's Barone and St. Joseph Street.
Yes, right near Howard Avenue. Let me just say, if you've gone to Howard, you've gone too far, okay?
That's it.
But it's a really great location, and the building has been beautifully renovated, too. So thank you, Poppy.
Thanks.
Oh, my goodness, such big news over at Commanders, Ian.
Well, this is a 2-part news story this week from Commanders. The passing of the torch, the passing of the chef's toque, if you will. Commander's Palace has a new chef, and that doesn't happen very often. It's pretty important, as I'll talk about a little bit later. But right now, we're saying welcome to Meg Bickford, who is the new executive chef at Commander's Palace. She is taking the reins from her longtime mentor, Tori McPhail. Tori McPhail has been executive chef at Commander's Palace, Peggy, 18 years.
Wow.
That's much more than twice the tenure of any other chef at Commander's Palace. Jamie Shannon, who preceded him, Emeril Lagasse before that, Paul Prudhomme before that. You see where we're going there. That's a pretty hallowed list of New Orleans chefs. Well, the next one is Meg Bickford, and it's significant in a lot of ways. She is the first woman to lead the kitchen at Commander's Palace, a restaurant that is led by women in the executive roles, as you see there. T. Martin and her cousin Lolly Brennan, passing the toque over to her in that wonderful Chris Granger photograph. And she's also the first homegrown, the first Louisiana-born chef for Commander's Palace since Paul Prudhomme. So significant on those levels. And the reason this is news, Peggy, is this role is just amongst the most prominent in New Orleans cuisine. It really is. The chef at Commander's Palace does a lot more than direct that magnificent kitchen. The chef has an important role out in the community. And Meg, from all that the Commander's Palace management has told me, from all that her predecessor, Tori McPhail, has told me, she's the woman for the job and the woman for these times. They've got a lot of confidence in her skills, her ability, her sense of passion for food and also compassion for other people, the full package, they say over there. And they're really excited to welcome her aboard and have her get going. They're also really excited for Tori McPhail. 18 years at the helm of this restaurant is certainly significant. Now, Tori is he's heading out to Montana. He's originally from Washington State. He spent his childhood summers in western Montana with family. A lot of his family is there now in Montana. So he's going to the mountain town of Bozeman, where he's going to be working for a small up-and-coming restaurant group there. And just picture that. Commander's Palace executive chef for 18 years going to Bozeman, Montana. He is going to rock that place. I think all the elk and bison out there in Montana should be shaking in their hooves to know that this chef is heading their way.
And
so
he's going to be missed on the virtual wine and cheese parties that Commanders throws on a weekly basis, too, because he and his wife would always dress up in great costumes with themes and show a dish. So those are going to be some tough shoes to fill, too, for Meg, huh?
Well, I hear all those costumes are going out to Montana to up the ante for for midweek merriment in Bozeman, Montana.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, best wishes to both of them, and I'm sure you'll see Meg Bickford on those ongoing wine and cheese parties on Wednesday.
Okay, thank you so much. And over to Alfred. Alfred, a lot of theater and movie theater news, huh?
A lot of news, and some good, some bad, but also the times that we live. First up, a film called Coming to America. Now, you may recall there was the Eddie Murphy vehicle several years ago in which he played an African prince who comes to America and finds things great. Well, now it's Coming to America, the number 2 there, and it's a return. However, it's not going to go to the theaters. It's doing what a lot of films these days are going. It's going to go straight to the streaming service of Amazon, and that's causing some consternation for some movie theater owners because they're saying they want more content to come to the theaters. To that end, one of my good friends, Ellis Fortenberry, over at the Chalmette Movies, he has announced that the theater chain, the Chalmette Movies, will reopen, and their plans of reopening by the end of this year, the end of 2020. He had hoped that they would be able to open up sooner, but a lot of films such as Mulan, Tenet, Wonder Woman 1984 were not available. And so what he's done is said he closed the theater for safety concerns, but they hope that they will be opening by the end of the year. But one theater, as I call it, the little theater that just keeps going, and that's the Britannia Theater. And the Britannia Theater has some big news in several respects. First up, let's talk about the movies that they will be showing, sort of this creepy and kooky and somewhat ooky part for Halloween. You have The Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack Skellington, as he deals with that great film made by Tim Burton. And of course, remember, you can't feed them after midnight, so no snacks from Commander's Palace. It's Gremlins, and there's a little mogwai there. That's at the Britannia Theater. But also big news, the Britannia Theater will now have one, of course, the original there at 5339 Britannia Street, Uptown, and now they're going to be taking over the spot that was the Cinnabar Canal Place Theater downtown in the Canal Place. So that will give them several screens that will allow them to do movies, lots of different movies, also classic films, and of course working with film festivals. So it is possible that this is a really big news item. Really is a big good thing for the Britannia Theater. And our good friends at the Broad Theater, they have some exciting news as well. Introducing the Broadside, an open-air theater performance area. Now, it's directly across the street from the Broad Theater. As you can see here, very colorful and, of course, spaced with great distance, social distancing. And they're going to be showing 2 films this week. They're going to be showing Down by Law and Bad Hair. Now, screenings will start around sundown, around 7:30, so you'll have a chance to catch it there. But they will also allow for performances by bands, and one of the bands coming up this week is the St. Claude Serenaders. Now, they're going to be performing Sunday from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's only $5. It's a great deal. The Saints aren't playing this weekend, so you can go and catch the St. Claude Serenaders at the Broadside. And as I've always said on TV, whenever you're going out, even if it's in an area like that, wear the mask. And they're going to be showing a couple of films also at the Broad as well. New features such as On the Rocks, which is a great film with Bill Murray. Really looks a lot like his Lost in Translation continuance. And the film called The Trial of the Chicago 7 with Sacha Baron Cohen playing the leader of the Yippies, Abby Hoffman.
Oh, boy.
So really good-looking film there. And it's, again, at the Broad Theater on North Broad. And, again, you have many choices. The Broad, you have the Broadside, the Britannia is expanding. Things are looking good in many respects for theaters here.
All right. Thank you so much, Alfred. And we should remind everybody you can also have dinner there because they have a milkfish restaurant pop-up. The Philippine restaurant is there, too. I've had a lot of great meals there. And moving on to Alan, and if there's one actor who is like the Energizer Bunny, it's Ricky Graham, and he continues on, doesn't he, Alan?
That's right, and there is live theater in New Orleans, or at least in Kenner, for funny man Ricky Graham, along with Ashley Lemler and sideman Jefferson Turner. They opened last week for the Quarantine Cabaret, always topical, Ricky, intended to bring relief to your funny bone, I guess, when everything else is hurting. The Quarantine Cabaret has been extended to this weekend. It appears because of social distancing and perhaps some limits on seating, they may be sold out, but not to worry. If you're in sort of like looking for something along those same lines, they are going to have next week, instead of Ricky Graham, Jefferson Turner, and Ashley Lemmer, they're going to have Becky Allen, Harry Marone, and Chris Weckland out at the same spot for Hot Stuff. Nice. That's the hit comedy cabaret, Peggy, and you've seen them perform before. Friday and Saturday, 7:30. And it's basically going to be singing some of their old favorites and standards on Friday and Saturday nights. So we do have some live things that are happening. Meanwhile, actor Casey Groves did all the research and wrote the piece that he calls Seelos, Doctor of Souls. Now, we actually featured this on Steppin Out a year or more ago, but for those that did not see it or perhaps want to see it again, it'll be available on View on Demand, an event on Eventbrite. And Casey informed me that all the backgrounds were rendered virtually through green screen. So in a sense, it is a new production. He researched all of this himself, of course, on Father Seelos, who's a revered figure here in New Orleans. It'll be starring and by, of course, Casey Groves. Also on the scene again is Crescent City Stage. That's the company that is made up of mostly Actors Equity members. This weekend, they're presenting Shakespeare's King Lear. It's free, but you must RSVP first. That'll be Crescent City Stage. That's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, a free event for you to see online. And finally, yesterday, Peggy, the Tony Award nominations were made, and they led to some surprises. First off, leading off all the nominations were Jagged Little Pill with 15 nominations and Moulin Rouge with 14 Tony Award nominations. James Monroe Iglehart was the person in charge of making the announcements, and an age amount. It really revealed some surprises. Best score of a musical, for instance, there are none, only plays that are going to be nominated for scores, and a solo nomination for Aaron Tveit as the leading actor in a musical, which means he'll win a Tony, but only if he gets 60% of the voters.
Oh, okay. My goodness. All
He's
right.
nominated, the only one in the category, but he still has to get 60% of the voters.
Oh, all right. Okay, Helen, thank you so much. And back over to Poppy. And Poppy, talk about a chef that's the Energizer Bunny, Chef Nina. Wow.
Chef Nina, of course, James Beard award-winning, one of the greatest chefs in the city. She and her husband, Larry Miller, are down at their Bywater American Bistro. They're there all the time, and Nina's cooking, and they're coming up with these great ideas. Like, there's 2 weekly specials that are new. Every Thursday night is date night, and you see those intimate tables, all socially distanced, and you can snuggle up together in an extra discreet way. And for $70, dinner for 2. That starts with a welcome cocktail, and it's 3 courses with incredible, yummy things like pan-roasted snapper or roasted pork belly. She's making good use of those ovens down there, because another alternative that's special new is every Sunday now, it's Sunday roast dinner. And oh my goodness, roasted Australian Wagyu strip loin is one of the dinners they're offering. Glazed baby vegetables and Yorkshire pudding. You never see that. Sunday roast dinner is just $65 for 2, and it's rotating menus both on Thursdays and on Sundays, so you can switch it up, and she's there in the kitchen. Go take advantage of that.
Compare Le Pen is closed right now, isn't it?
Yes, it is still closed.
All right. Thank you so much. And we move over to Ian with a brand new, in these challenging times, a brand new dining experience, huh?
Well, Peggy, ask yourself, what does it look like when a restaurant group, a New Orleans restaurant group in particular, opens a hotel? Well, we're finding out at the Chloe. This is a new spot in a very old home on St. Charles Avenue. That's St. Charles Avenue in Marengo, right near Napoleon. And, this has been a grand home. It's been a B&B. It was a boarding house for some point of its history. Well, right now it's taking a bold step forward as the Chloe. It's a hotel with a restaurant and a bar and a pool patio all in the mix. And it's the latest from a local company called LeBlanc & Smith, which you may be familiar with other restaurants, Sylvain, Cavin, Longway Tavern, Mobar, the Bar Barrel Proof. This is a very new venture for them. They want to see how they can apply what they call their 21st century hospitality to a destination that functions as a restaurant and a bar for the locals, as a place for visitors from out of town to kind of sink into the neighborhood. It's an old-fashioned inn. That's the aesthetic that they're going for. But with all of their properties, they have this way of animating these old, evocative, sort of timeless New Orleans spaces with very much the style and the taste and the influences of the next generation. It gives them a lot of energy. It gives that spark there where you're in a New Orleans place that has a sense of place, but it also has this sense of being current and even moving the narrative forward. So that's why the Chloe has been an exciting debut. They haven't started booking rooms there yet, but you can go and have a meal, have a drink, check the place out. There are little twists and turns around this old Victorian mansion that are just delightful, the way that it's been remade and recast for its new role. So it's a very interesting addition, and the way they're pitching it is, it's a hard time for restaurants. It's a hard time for hotels. Those entwined sectors are really up against it through this pandemic. But what the Chloe was meant to do was mesh with New Orleans neighborhood life, specifically uptown neighborhood life. And that's remained vibrant. There's a lot still to check out. People are still coming to town if they want that smaller scale, intimate, sink into the neighborhood kind of feel. That's what it's there for. And for those of us who live in the city, it's sort of a home base or a landing spot if you want to spend a day around uptown and then end it on the porch or the garden terrace of one of these grand mansions. A great opportunity to do that.
Yeah, with the streetcar rolling by, that's not bad. So,
of course.
Okay, thank you so much, Ian. And moving back over to Alfred, and we have to pay homage to the AMC theaters. They're back up too, huh?
Yes, the AMC theaters are up, but like all the other big movie chains around the country, they too are discovering that they don't have a lot of new material. So what do? We go to the classics. And so the AMC theater has now decided that for those people who want to see see a classic movie, but they don't want to take out a small SBA loan to get to the movie, you can now watch classics they're calling their $5 favorites. The classic movies for only a $5 admission price. And some of the $5 admission movies that you can catch at the AMCs, whether it be Elmwood, Clearview, West Bank, or in Hammond, you would have The Nightmare Before Christmas. You also have Honest Thief. Now, this is the one with Liam Neeson getting a chance to steal, but again, he will find you, and he may just kill you. You'll also have other films available, as I mentioned, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and we have, well, this is Tommaso, and this is a film that's going to be shown at our good friends at the Zeitgeist Theater, along with The Devil Has a Name. So you'll have at the Zeitgeist 2 films there, but the Zeitgeist at St. Claude Avenue, just across in Araby, just across the parish line. And so those 2 films, The Devil Has a Name and Tommaso. And if we have the opportunity, as I mentioned, the AMC has a whole bunch of different films there. You can check with AMC.com to find out more information about the different theaters there. As for some of those films, we'll have, for example, The War with Grandpa. Now, this is a follow-up, I guess, with the Bad Grandpa film with Robert De Niro a few years ago. So, well, we'll have to say about that. And also a film that looks like a French version of Splash. You may recall the movie with Daryl Hannah and Tom Hanks several years back in the 80s. It's called A Mermaid in Paris. Simple story. A man discovers a mermaid in Paris and falls in love. Where else but in Paris? But you have that film. And if we go across the lake over to Covington, the Movie Tavern there has a film called Two Hearts. They're also Honest Thief, The War with Grandpa, Coco, Hocus Pocus, and The Nightmare Before Christmas. That Christmas, holiday, Halloween feel there. So you can go to fandango.com to find out information about theater listings for the Movie Tavern over in Covington.
All right, thank you so much. And moving back over to Alan for a play with Anglophiles in mind, if you will.
Well, yeah, this is Stephen Maitland-Lewis's new play.
Sure, he's been on our show.
It's a world premiere, and he sent it to me thinking that I might be able to do something with it, and indeed I did. We're first off going to discuss it tonight after Steppin Out is over on a conversation with Stephen Maitland-Lewis on Nola Theater Talk, which is available on the Folk Facebook group that we have, the Nola Theater Folk Facebook group, the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, well, YouTube Music, Alan Smason YouTube channel. This is a play that's going to run on Monday night. And listen to the cast. Donald Lewis will be performing as Ernest Simpson, and Tracy Ellis will be performing as Wallis Simpson. Now, Wallis Simpson, that sounds familiar. Ernest Simpson, that was her second husband, the one that she divorced in order to, yes, marry the future King of England, King Edward VIII. And again, that's what the story's about. It's all about Ernest Simpson and how his marriage to his second wife intersected not only with the future King of England, but also how in later years he came to America, the home of his birth, which he had renounced. It's a long story. And he's a multifaceted character. In many ways, he is running away from his past. Donald Lewis is playing the part of Ernest Simpson. Eris Walsh will be playing a part, as well as Catherine Talbot and Drew Stroud. Those are all people who are, I think, fictionalized and play different characters in the play for the historical personages of Ernest Simpson and Wallis Simpson. But I think you're going to find this really fascinating. There's a part to Ernest Simpson, part cavalier. You would have it. He was an interesting man in any event. That's, again, Simpson's Pride, the world premiere on Monday night, October the 19th at 8 o'clock, and you get to see it for free as part of our outreach to the New Orleans theater community. Meanwhile, this week, Peggy, on the Shows Must Go On channel, Alfie Boe, who was very famous in playing the part of Jean Valjean, will be back on Bring Him Home Tour, of course, in reference to that on the Shows Must Go On YouTube channel. And don't forget that on the Seth concert series this week, it'll be Settle was, of course, very famous as playing a featured actress in the Waitress Broadway play that was done, the musical, along with several other people. But she also made fame as Letty Lutz, the bearded lady in The Greatest Showman, and she sang that song, This Is Me, that everybody remembers.
Once again, that Seth concert series has been a delight on Sunday nights, and it's such a deal, too. It's just $25. And you get to see Broadway stars. Amazing, virtually. Thank you, Alan. Now time, though, for our picks of the week. Poppy.
Another pandemic pivot. Very popular these days. Alice Waters actually just started a little market at Chez Panisse. Well, so did Emerald at Merrill. So you can go down there and get gumbo, ribs, chicken wings, mac and cheese, all your favorites from Merrill right there, ready to go.
Thank you. Ian.
Celtica French Bakery. This is a new bakery in Lakeview from a baker with a long history in New Orleans. This is the latest from Dominique Rizzo, who was well known as the founder of La Boulangerie, the Uptown Bakery, now run by Donald Link. He passed that on a few years ago. Well, now he's back. Dominique is back with his own bakery, Celtica. Go early. They are known to sell out. It has been quite the response since he started baking in Lakeview, to no one's surprise.
Thank you. Alfred.
If you are not keen on going out to the theaters, we have some streaming choices. First of all, a classic Disney piece of work. It's Blackbeard's Ghost, starring the late, great Peter Ustinov as the aforementioned pirate. Also, The Glorias on Fandango, Vudu, and Prime Video is a story about Gloria Steinem. A film that this other film reminds me so much about what we're dealing with these days. A film called Save Yourselves. It's on Fandango, Vudu, and Prime Video. And this one I really like, Stunt Women, The Untold Hollywood. It's on Fandango now.
All right, thank you. Alan.
Well, Peggy, you know, back in the old days when the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra would play at the Orpheum, you either had to go on Thursday or Saturday night. Now you don't have to worry about it because it's all streaming, and you all can have a season subscription and see it at your own speed whenever you want on demand. Tonight, it's the Dvorak Serenade for Strings, Handel Concerto Grosso, and the Grieg Holberg Suite. And again, it'll be streaming. This will be featuring Hannah Yin as the conductor. Again, starting tonight, and again, whenever you want on demand, the LPO. Let's support them.
Thank
I'll
you.
see you at the theater,
and
Peggy.
now my picks. Thank you so much, Alan. And Dickie Brennan's Steakhouse and his commissary, which features pickup dining. They are featuring a special 3-course steak dinner with part of the proceeds going to the Tansy Breast Center at Oxnard, a very worthy cause. Call 522-2467 for details. Authors Jeff Duncan and Connor Tan O'Neill will do virtual talks and book signings through Garden District Books. That's next Tuesday and Wednesday. Duncan's book is about Drew Brees. And GardenDistrictBookshop.com. Go to FriendsOfCityPark.com. Don't forget that Ghost in the Oaks party pack for Halloween. And there's an event happening there next Saturday. And I just wanted to say thanks to the New Orleans Press Club because Steppin Out was acknowledged. It took first place in the Press Club competition last night. And we appreciate that and all of our incredible, talented crew. And we all work together. And we thank you, our colleagues. Thank you all so much. Good night.
Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.